Hello everyone, welcome to a World of Warships Blitz video. There has been a gap in transmission and it's because I've run out of videos. Anyway, here we have a request, the Amagi, and this battle is a little bit different, but we'll show you why it's a little bit different. So hopefully this one is going to be educational rather than inspiring, or maybe inspiring and educational, maybe educational. Anyway, here we are, we're on the New Dawn map. So we have ourselves a destroyer, a cruiser, which is good to see, and me as the battleship. I have AP loaded because with that combination I need to be protecting the destroyer by taking out the cruisers, so I don't have to worry too much about the destroyers, or at least that's what I hope. This cruiser seems to have a steering problem. Possibly could have had HE loaded the first time, maybe, because that way I could have certainly done a bit more of an assist at this point. So only one shell on, still having problems with the lead there, and unfortunately our destroyer is actually in a world of hurt there. He survived that first encounter, but only just, and he's under sustained fire by the bad guys. My job is to try and make those bad guys suffer for it, which is going to be a struggle because basically they're behind an island. So our destroyer, at this point our destroyer still has value as in points, as in scouting value, but he should have run for cover and not fired for the rest of the game. So that Amalfi took him out. I've got to try and deal with this. So now I've got a problem. We've got this destroyer on the loose, and it's something I didn't really want to have to deal with. So I've got HE loaded. It was just a temptation to deal with that fire, and then hopefully we can get some decent shots in. 3 hits. Damn. Not as much as I'd hoped, but anyway, we're under sustained fire by that Bismarck, but that's long range fire. The Amalfi with its SAP is a concern, but less of a concern than these destroyers. As you can see, he's done quite a wide broadside. I'm going to have to see if I can take this sucker out. Let's get some shots off. We've got some torpedoes coming in at us. We've been accelerating away. We wear a couple of those. Isn't too bad in the grand scheme of things, but he's going to disappear from sight, which is going to be a bit of a shame. And we've still got another destroyer in the cap. Let's see if we can. It's a bit of a tricky one. Probably not enough lead. I need to just put more lead on, whether or not I think I've got enough lead, because any more hits on that and I would have dealt with that destroyer, and it probably would have been quite a different outcome for the game. Right, so there we go. We've got torpedoes coming in. We've used the island to turn. We've got them coming in from the other side, so I'm going to try and see if we can slip past these torpedoes. That's quite a lot of torpedoes coming at this poor Amagi at this point. So at this point, I'm keeping quite a lot of them busy down this end of the map. They are taking casualties, which is good. There's the Bismarck, got nothing else to shoot at, so I'll have a crack at him. Get our secondaries. Got the Bismarck out. We're starting to get ahead of them on numbers. They have an awful lot of ships tied up down this end, so if our guys can wrap up the other end of the map, thank you very much. We should be in for a good game. So here's the Amalfi. My problem is I've got destroyers and I've got cruisers. If that had been AP, man, I could have taught that thing a lesson, but unfortunately it was HE. So he got away with it. And here comes the destroyer. So I've turned in his, I think that's the other destroyer torpedoes. There's all 3 of them. That's the Amalfi's torpedoes. There's not much I can do about that. This guy's going to be firing his torpedoes at me, so I just got to try and end on into them. So that's it. We've got our guns. Now, let's see if we can, well, how many of those we can avoid. Not a lot. We get the destroyer, get taken out by the Amalfi, and we have what looks like, those will be the Amalfi's torpedoes. He's obviously fired them off from the other side. So that's it down this end. However, they have 1 ship down the far end. We have 2 of the caps. We have 3 ships. They have 3 ships. Now, North Carolina, we're ahead on points, which is good to see. And now let's just watch how this goes. So this destroyer here has very little in the way of health. So we basically have one full health battleship, a very low health battleship, and a destroyer. So essentially the right thing, we can win this game at this point, right? They have 2 ships, we have 3. Admittedly, some of our ships are a bit weak, but that destroyer, the enemy destroyer, is going to be racing down through the middle. That destroyer, if he races up through the top, and this is the problem with internet games, if he'd headed out, not trying to go through the cap, but trying to go out through the side, because those enemy ships are going to be coming down trying to capture those caps one after the other. The destroyer with the Amalfian support. So if he sneaks up the top, takes the cap in the rear, then basically, and the cap, North Carolina, gets out of there. This guy tanks in this cap for as long as he can. We have this game in the bag. Only a minute and 14 seconds. An Amalfi and a Akazuki against an aware full health American battleship. Probably not going to take him down, and that's what needs to happen. They need to take down him. Yeah. Right, now this is where it starts getting a little bit dodgy. So we've lost to North Carolina, who basically thought he could contribute to the battle. I have no idea what that Yudachi was doing. I think he was going for a YOLO run to try and take out the Amalfi, which is pretty unfortunate, right? Okay, then, so the enemy team is now basically ahead. They're not ahead by enough that if one more ship couldn't make the difference. So that Amalfi is heading into the cap. So at this point, their correct thing to do is to leave. However, they want a chance to dice. So here we are in the last 15 seconds of the game. Now, if that American battleship can take out the Amalfi, then we win. And if the Amalfi, obviously, well, if the Amalfi survives, we lose. And there you go. After the bell, they took out the Amalfi. So, yeah, so if you are in a ship that's heavily damaged, you still have utility value. That's probably the reason that I actually kept this video. Our initial destroyer up the front could easily have gone around and captured caps. Sure, it wouldn't be as useful as foreign torpedoes, and people don't like to feel useless, but it's not useless if you go in reserve and you start capturing caps. Nothing makes an enemy as concerned as where's that destroyer? Anyway, I hope you found that instructional. I did. Thanks for watching.